Welcome to Monday Night Football, where Soccer Town USA comes to you. Look at that. Last week, it was about the trio of you, me, and Tom, and now we're back to being a duo. What's up with that?
Well, Todd is actually doing some good work. He's down in the DR, Dominican Republic, doing some surgery. He does this every year with his, I think it's Hamilton Medical Center, but they go down there. They prepare these surgeries for people that need it, and so he is down there sweating, probably getting bit up by mosquitoes, but he's enjoying some sun because we're about to have some
Oh,
cold
man,
weather
17
here,
degrees again on Friday. I mean, we thought we were over this, but no, we still go.
Yeah, but really quick, we had some action last week. It was the first full week of football here in Northwest Georgia. So let's go straight to that OptiLink scoreboard. I'm going to run down the scores. So we actually had quite a few games last Monday. We had Murray County girls losing 5-2 to Gilmer. North Murray girls going down to Heritage 11-1. Coahulla Creek girls 3-0 over Cass. Then North Murray boys actually losing 1-0 to Heritage, which is actually a good scoreline since it's a 4A to a 2A school. 3 Gilmer County, 3 Murray County boys 2. Coahulla Creek beating Cass 3-1. Then we had Coahulla Creek girls on Tuesday winning 3-1 versus Central. And then on Thursday we had a lot of matches.
I mean, that was the match day on Thursday. I got to check out a couple of them.
Yeah, so we had North Murray versus North Murray versus TDA. You were at that game.
I was at that game.
Analysis. So North Murray with a 3-0 win. Murray County losing to Heritage 4-2. Southeast girls winning 3-2. Hat trick by Maya Camacho. We'll go over that later on in the show. Southeast. And then Northwest girls losing 3-0 to Pace Academy, which that was we'll just see about that score line as well. Dalton Academy 1-0 win over North Murray. Northwest boys with a 2-0 win over Pace Academy. Southeast going to PKs.
Penalty kicks. We'll talk about that here in a bit.
Yeah, go versus Coahulla Creek, and they winning in PKs due to the new GHSA rule. Murray County boys winning against Heritage in PKs. That's a big win for Murray County because their slate this week was heavy. Then you had Dalton on Friday. Dalton, and actually both Dalton boys and girls put up 12 goals total. 6-1 on the girls' side versus Calhoun, and 6-0 on the boys' side versus Calhoun. Then you had Murray County playing Johns Creek in a tournament. That score got a little out of hand, but, give kudos to Murray County. They went down and played Johns Creek, lost 8-0. And then they had to turn around and play Saturday versus the Tucker team, and they lost 2-0. So, Diego, what do you think about these score lines first week of the season?
I like what I see. I like that I see some tight matches, and I like that I see some not so tight matches because you mentioned, Murray County versus Johnson, I think was the biggest.
Or Heritage. Johns Creek.
Johns Creek, it was the biggest scoreline. But like you said, Murray County's facing some good opposition. With these score lines, I think it's cliche, but it does matter more how you play than what the result is. Because, you can't get better if you play lower opposition. Yeah. Playing that kind of opposition, I'm excited to see where that goes. We were both at the Dalton game. I mean, that was my highlight of the week. What a way to spend Valentine's Day, because Lord knows I didn't do anything else that day.
No, you went to the movies that night.
I did go to the movies. That I forgot about that because the games were that good. It was freezing though.
Yes, and really quick, so just so you all know, this year GHSA is implemented since 1A to 3A. Private schools will be lumped in one region when it comes to playoff time, or one side of the bid, or I guess tournament. So now every game is played there's got to be a winner. So there's no losses. Non-region games go to straight to PKs. If it's a region game, they're going to go straight into 2 10-minute overtimes and then PKs. But really quick, we're getting ready to go to our first commercial break, and we come back. We actually have Brogan Baker with us, who's now an assistant coach at Southeast. And the reason we brought him on is for something that he helped design that we think is kind of cool. So
amazing.
We'll see you guys here in a few minutes.
I'm Dr. Michelle Little.
And I'm Dr. Kayla Juba with Foundation Direct Family Care. We wanted to start a membership-based primary care practice.
But we're doctors, not business people.
I'm Kylie Roy with Biltwell Bank. I listen to their pitch and help them scale from startup to owning their own building.
Biltwell sees the value of small businesses in the community and supports their ingenuity.
Because every business owner doesn't have an MBA, our bank is Biltwell.
Member FDIC.
Who's up for some football?
That's not football. This is football. And Eddie, there's one thing that we all can agree on.
That's it. North Georgia is the home for new and pre-owned vehicles.
And don't forget accessories, parts, service, and collision needs.
Claro que sí se puede. Come see us.
Hey, that's our part.
And welcome back to Monday Night Football. And as we mentioned, we have a very good, interesting segment here. Not only is it because we're up here with three Raiders, Roy
Four behind the camera.
Let me take this to Roy Alvaron here. Roy, I'm looking at you at the camera. Remember when you had the Dalton Power Hour a couple years ago and you brought out that helmet and everything? Well, now this is going to be the Raider Power Hour, but for a good reason. We actually have with us Brogan Baker, currently a assistant football coach at Southeast, but also the head JV coach. You took over for Finney as he went up to the varsity level. But the reason we brought Brogan here is Brogan designed some cool jerseys that we're going to discuss here in a bit. But he designed some cool jerseys, and he's going to discuss the history of what is on the jersey and why it's such a good thing. But really quick, Brogan, welcome to Monday Night Football. Introduce yourself. Give us a little bit of feedback, because I really didn't realize that you played soccer, but just give us a little bit where you played and what you played. And I think you actually have a banger of a goal that you scored one time, right?
Is that true?
Yeah, an assist actually, but my name is Brogan Baker. Grew up in Chattanooga. Lived there until last year actually. Went to Boyd Buchanan, played soccer there 4 years with varsity. Played Southeast twice.
How did that go?
I mean, my junior year, we lost 5-0. Senior year, I say we tied because they got a PK in the last few seconds of the game. But,
so I'm assuming you're not a fan of PKs.
But, I mean, in this case, it worked out for us last week. But I was happy to be here, happy to discuss this. It's a project that we spent probably 3 months working on.
And explain the project. So let's. So what they obviously Brogan designed the home kit, right?
Yeah.
And what was the inspiration for the home kit? Because that's unique. No one has that. Like everyone goes traditional. But what inspired you to do the home kit this year?
Well, for this, we were trying to just make something different, bring back the traditional carmine color that's kind of been lost over the recent years. As you see, like every team in Southeast, the shade of maroon is different.
Yes, correct.
So we're trying to hit just our traditional roots. Worked with a company called Jersey Bird, small company out of Nashville, Tennessee. And then for this, we wanted to bring back Raider Nation and made just as a map. It's a map of all the schools that go to Southeast.
Here, let me hold this up while you describe it.
So a map of all the schools that go to Southeast.
And I think we can actually pull that up off of the Instagram, the post that you have, so you'll be able to see it on here. But you were able to incorporate all the feeder schools, correct?
Yes.
So what are all the feeder schools for those that don't know, what are the feeder schools that feed into Southeast?
So we have Southeast itself, Valley Point, Eastbrook Middle, Valley Point Elementary, Antioch, the Gap, Eastside, Cedar Ridge.
I think that's it.
That's Raider Nation right there.
That's it, yeah. So then our collars, we have what Rage stands for. And then on the sleeve, we have just Raider Nation. So we call it a Raider Nation kit.
And you have 3 stars on that. What are the 3 stars about?
So the 3 stars, there's 3 state titles from 2017, 21, and 22.
Correct.
With a silicone badge just for that extra touch.
So obviously you guys unveiled this jersey about 3 weeks ago. Y'all had on y'all's Instagram, y'all were hyping it up. Who was the brainchild of hyping it up? I know Amy Woods, I think she said she had maybe a little bit of a hand in helping design this or whatnot. But who was the mastermind of the hype video? Because I know you did a little bit of hype videos yourself last year, which we'll discuss later. But who was the mastermind behind the hype video for this?
So the whole process took forever. Me and Amy went back and forth and eventually settled on a map design. During practice one day, Coach Garcia was asking me if I could just text a dude who owns the company, he could just make a video for us like he does for other teams, clubs, etc. And he was like, sure. He ran with it, texted me all the time, asked for details, pictures, videos, etc. And he posted it. I think it has almost like 200K views total across TikTok, Instagram. The feedback's been good. It's been very positive. It's just been cool to see this idea come to life.
That's good.
I actually saw the social media videos and I loved what I saw, but seeing this in person, it's so much more beautiful. The impact and the attention to detail. I love it. I can't wait to order one of these myself.
And with that, we're getting ready to go to commercial break. When we come back, we'll have a few more minutes with Brogan Baker.
Why should you choose OptiLink Internet?
I chose OptiLink because of the great local service.
We know computers, and OptiLink knows internet with high-speed symmetrical uploads and downloads.
My customers depend on me for safety and security, and I need fast and dependable internet. That's why I chose OptiLink.
Some people say you can't have fast internet. I say, oh yes you can with OptiLink.
Experience the difference. Call today, 706-529-1313.
If you could live anywhere, where would it be? And what would it be like? Open up a world of possibilities when you sell your home and make those dreams real. At ColdwellBanker.com, you can get an instant estimate on your home, compare cost of living city by city, and learn more about our revolutionary seller's assurance program. So it really is true. Your dreams don't have to be just dreams. At ColdwellBanker.com.
And welcome back to Monday Night Football. And it's really quick, Brogan. I know you were talking about how the video had went viral, over like 200 views on all different social media platforms. I know a friend of the show, Jason Longshore, who's the voice of Atlanta United, and on his Instagram page, he actually shared it as well. And that's how I saw it. I was like, okay, this is getting, if Jason Longshore shares something, that means it is good. It's a good thing. But really quick, while we have you on here, you guys had your first game this past week versus Coahulla Creek for a Soccer City Cup, and we're going to discuss that. But this being your first season coaching here in the area, obviously at Southeast, but also within the area, what is your first impression of the talent level that is here in this Dalton area? Obviously, you were at Chattanooga. You're from the Chattanooga area, but I'm assuming you guys heard of the talent that was here locally. Now that you're here living and working here, what is it like seeing that talent on display?
No, it's very impressive. You know, it's something that you hear about. I've attended middle school games for the past few years. So I've always been interested in Dalton, Coahulla, Southeast, Northwest, etc. But it's fast, it's physical, it's passionate. You know, it's everything you want.
What about the technical ability? Like the technique that these kids have at such a young age?
Honestly, I'd say like all the kids I saw last Friday in our game against Coahulla are much better than I ever was.
Humble.
I played club growing up my whole life.
What club team did you play for Chattanooga?
So Easter's Express.
Okay.
And then I think that's it. I think that's what it was called back in the day. Then I played for the Argentinian coach.
Okay. Todd would know him if he was here. He would probably be quoting it. But
for PSA.
Okay.
So it's a beautiful thing, and my guys on JV are very technical, fast, physical, just fun. You know, it's the chemistry, because I would play club together, the chemistry is just, it's a beautiful thing.
If I were to ask you, because I'm curious about that whole new perspective, what would you say is one of the main things that kind of stood out to you when you first started coaching these boys? Like, if you could pick one thing.
Just the natural skill. It's just something you don't expect. Like through our summer games, like 77s, preseason tryouts, just the natural skill, ability. It seems easy. They make it seem so easy.
And you said it's tryouts. When you see the number of kids try out, what does that say to you? Like, I don't know. I think what Southeast had maybe was 6. They've known to had 80, 90, 100 in the past. I don't know what their numbers are now. But how many kids did y'all have to cut to get down to your JV and varsity?
I mean, that's a question Coach Garcia can
answer,
touch on, but it's just, you want to see big numbers. You want to see the passion that all the students have. Even if kids aren't on the squad this year, they're still playing here right now. Like I saw several students out there playing. It's just the love is strong for the game, and that's something you always want to see growing.
So I know mentioned that you played in Chattanooga, Boyd Buchanan, right? I think you may have played against maybe one or two of my cousins, Baggio and Milan Card.
Yeah. Notre Dame.
Yeah. But I heard you have a little highlight of a banger that you, or not a banger, of assist that you had for a winning goal. Is that correct? Or do you want to, cue us in on how that play transpired and what happened?
Relive that moment.
I mean, I watch it all the time, to be honest, but it was our region championship.
Okay.
Because in Tennessee, it's district, region, sub-state. We're playing CSAS my senior year. I think it was maybe 1-0 at the time. I had a free kick from the 50, and then just booted it up, I think, to Zach Jenkins. I think it was like probably 6'3", 6'4", something like that. Just tall enough, just tapped in the goal, went on to win the region championship. It's just something I like to brag about because it's just really cool. And back then there was no cameras. So it's an old screen recording from like the news or TikTok or something like that.
And as you can see here, as we're talking about it, you see here the goals we were referencing. It may be a little grainy because it's going
back in black and white footage.
It's not black and white like the banger that Todd scored back in, which we'll probably relive that one later on. But Brogan, like I said, we really do appreciate you coming on here. I know you're a little bit nervous, but hopefully we made it easier. If you haven't seen these jerseys, please do go to Southeast Raider Rage homepage. You can see the design. You can see the cool video that they did. But I think this is really unique. That's not been done anywhere around. And we just wanted to recognize this because it's something different and inspirational, hopefully, for everyone else within the community. And with that, we're going to go to commercial break, and we're coming back and we're going to have some Southeast Coahulla Creek highlights.
Here's two of the nicest guys in the car business.
Hey, it's Eddie and Greg from North Georgia Toyota.
We're taking a little break from doing commercials, do a little fishing.
Hey, I'm not fishing, I'm catching.
All right, hang in there, don't let it get away.
Don't let your big deal get away at North Georgia Toyota.
Greg, some of us gonna say, we can't do that. What do we say?
We say, oh yes, we can.
And it's only at North Georgia Toyota in Dalton. Come see us. Bring it in.
Why should you choose OptiLink Internet?
When I work from home, I need fast, reliable internet. OptiLink provides that with no hidden fees.
Our customers depend on us for great service and quality. And that's why we chose OptiLink Internet.
As we serve the needs of our clients, we need reliable internet service. That's why I chose OptiLink as my hometown provider.
Some people say you can't get fast internet. I say, oh yes you can with OptiLink.
Experience the difference. Call today.
Welcome back to Monday Night Football. Now let's go ahead and discuss some of the games that we were at this week. And I heard a rumor from you, so I know it's a fact, that you went to the Southeast game with a Dalton rain jacket on?
Come on, man. It was a very long Dalton soccer jacket, but the thing is, one of my coach's friends, Coach Almodovar, he's head coach for the Lady Catamounts. So Dalton is now a Nike school, so he had some Adidas gear that he, was no longer going to be able to wear. So he's like, hey, I got this jacket. I can't wear it. It's got the initials JA on it. Do you want it? And I'm like, sure. You know what?
Can't say no to that.
I ain't going to complain because it kept me warm. I was at Lake Point yesterday watching my nephew play in a final for a tournament. And I was on, and it kept me warm. So I'm not going to complain. But yes, some of the Southeast girls that I got interviewed with, they were not happy. But yes.
As they shouldn't. But what a game. 3-2 Southeast win against Coahulla Creek. All 3 goals scored by Maya Camacho.
Yes.
Hat trick.
So Maya Camacho actually had a hat trick. I didn't make this game, but I made it after the game. But this was a Soccer City Cup matchup. So let's just emphasize that. We'll pull up the standings here in a bit. But so the intensity was there. Obviously, you know how it is when you play Coahulla Creek. Southeast, Maya, I think, scored a PK first half, and then she scored on a breakaway the second goal, and then she had a third goal to go up. It was a back and forth game. Southeast would go up, and then they would tie, and then they would go back up, and then they'd get tied. So it was 2-2. There were some other chances that were missed, but overall, it was the intensity that you'd expect from me.
And I love hearing that it was back and forth. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to make it to the game, but hearing that it was a close back and forth, I like those a lot better than the blowout, especially with Soccer City Cups.
Yes.
I mean, the teams want to win it. Southeast, of course, right now. Can we say in the lead? I mean, they got 3 points.
Yeah, I mean, let's just go straight to the standings, So the Girls Soccer City Cup, the way it's looking at right now, Southeast and Kahala, obviously you have played the first match. Southeast went up, so they went up with a win. They got 3 points for that. Kahala has a loss, so they're at 0 points regulation. But look, I mean, there's still a lot of Soccer City Cup to be played. You've got Southeast still having to play Dalton High, Southeast having to play Northwest, Kahala having to play there. Just looking at this and just giving your unbiased opinion, and Diego, you've had an opportunity to see the Catamounts play. You've watched them actually twice.
Oh, absolutely. I am absolutely.
So looking at this, how do you feel this Soccer City Cup's going to end up? Because it's not going to get decided till the end of the season when Southeast and Dalton plays. It's when we'll know going in like if someone's going to win it or if that's going to be the winning game. But how do you feel so far?
I think it's going to be close standings. I don't think there will be a clear winner until those last few spots. And the reason I say that is one thing you brought up about already, first match between Southeast and Kahala, they showed that intensity.
Yes.
So you want to win. You want to represent, especially with it being Soccer Town USA. It actually means a lot winning something like a Soccer City Cup. And so the Southeast girls, clearly the talent is there. The Dalton girls, the talent is there in drove. Same as well for Kahala and Northwest. So I think they're all going to show up. And I actually think we might have upsets all throughout this.
You know what? It could happen. Like I said, we're very early. We're basically coming into week 2. But here at the end of this segment, I was able to get an interview with the tri-captains for Southeast, Maya Camacho, Allison Maldonado, and Fally. Sarah, they're the tri-captains. A couple of them are juniors, and the other Allison's a senior. But they bring it up in the interview. They were looking forward to the Soccer City Cup match because they knew what was on the line. The Lady Cats have taken it. The Northwest, I think, is taking it, and Dalton maybe has taken it 1 year. But this year, Southeast really wants to bring that home. And like I said, let's just really quick. I know it's not on here, but Northwest, they played a couple matches last week. They lost versus Pace, but you got to think about it. Pace Academy is a private school. They lost 3-0. What do you think about that scoreline? Obviously, you're just getting in to the whole soccer, more of the high school soccer. When you hear that scoreline, what do you think about it? And you saw Northwest girls play earlier in the year, so.
Correct, and I liked what I saw too. I mean, especially with the way they were able to hold off Dalton for so long. Seeing that, like you mentioned, I'm new to the whole soccer high school world, but even I was a little surprised. I mean, Pace Academy, private school, of course, that's going to be always challenging. 3-0, it is early in this thing. We keep saying that it's early in this thing. Anything can happen. But I expected Northwest to possibly have something on the scoreboard, so it was a little shocking to be seeing 3-0, but I don't think that is a statement of anything.
Yeah, and the thing, and Coach Esau, what he does, he schedules these tough games to prepare the girls for later in the season. So.
I love that mentality.
So even Coach Amadova, all the schools really do schedule these tough out-of-region games to get them ready for the region. Look at Kahala. Kahala is scheduled. They're a 2A school. They're playing 2 4A schools in in Dalton and Southeast, and now you've got Kahala playing a 3A school, which is Northwest. So they're punching up. They're not backing down.
Same with Murray.
Murray too. And then you got Northwest playing. So I think Northwest will right the ship. It's too early in the season. Like I said, we're barely week 1, but I think they've got a lot to play for. They got the Clark girls, Marilyn and Sadie. I think they're going to be doing good. Eastside will always have them compact, so we're good there. I think they'll be turning around fine. Kahala, like you said, they still got a lot to play for in the Soccer City Cup.
Who was it that scored for the Kahala game? I'm not sure if we mentioned it.
I would have to the scorers for Brianna Munguia and Lily Johnson. And Lily's actually a stud. I mean, if you go back and look at it, Lily Johnson, she's been scoring goals as a freshman. I think she's a sophomore, if I'm not mistaken. She's grown up playing club ball with the Bells. So Lily is a name to look out for later on in the season. You're going to see her probably in the top 4 goals scored in the area, along with Maya Camacho, who's got a hat trick, along with Ali Rosales, who we
we'll definitely be talking. We have an interview with her too.
As we'll talk about.
Can't wait.
The Golden Boot, as we talk about here in the Northwest, is going to be very tight, and I think those names that I just mentioned Ali Rosales, Lily Johnson, and Maya Camacho are going to be up there for who's going to be on top of the Golden Boot. But with that, we're getting ready to go to commercial break, and we come back. We're actually going to discuss a little bit of Southeast boys and versus Coahuila Creek because of the Soccer City Cup and a little bit of
and the penalty kick.
Yes, and the penalty kicks, and then Dalton Catamounts. Welcome to Monday Night Football. This is Juan. Here we are with Allison, Maya, and Fally. They are actually the tri-captains for this 2025 Lady Raiders soccer team this year. So first of all, let's start off with you, Maya. I heard you had a hat trick, scored 3 goals. Just give us a quick synopsis of how the game went and if there's things you feel like you can improve on.
So in the beginning of the game, I felt like we were just playing down to like how we were supposed to. And but I think as the game went on, we grew to play with each other better. And I got the first goal, but then they came back, got another goal, came back, and then it was just the last 7 minutes, and I just ended up getting another goal. And I feel like second half we came out with more passion, more energy, and I feel like that really helped us. So.
All right, Allison, how does it, so what are the goals for you guys coming into 2025? So what has been laid out for you guys?
So for us as a team, we want to make history, and we want to become region champs for the first time ever in our school. We just want to improve from last season and the seasons before, try to make a name for the girls soccer, and that's what we have.
All right, and Fallon, what about you? Obviously, there's been some readjustments within the region. Northwest goes down to 3A. Coahuila goes down to 2A. Dalton's coming down to 4A. So within the region, I think Heritage, who do you guys feel like is the biggest threat, or is it just, you're not looking at an individual team?
Right now, I feel like our biggest threat for region is probably Altoona or Dalton. They're going to be very tough matches for us. But we need to, like I said, we didn't have some of our players on the field today, and we need them out there, and we need to obviously practice hard, play hard if we want to beat these teams, because obviously, like she said, we want to win region. If we want to win region, we have to be able to beat these teams if we want to win region.
All right, and to close out, obviously, y'all beat Coahuila today 3-2. That puts y'all currently in the first place for the Soccer City Cup, which hasn't been won by y'all. So did that go into effect, or were y'all not even thinking about that?
It was one of our things. In the locker room, that was we took this game as we need to go out there and show this city who's the best team in this city. So I think we came out there with that mentality.
All right, well, thank you guys, and like I said, we'll look forward to seeing you the rest of the season.
If you could live anywhere, where would it be? And what would it be like? Open up a world of possibilities when you sell your home and make those dreams real. At ColdwellBanker.com, you can get an instant estimate on your home, compare cost of living city by city, and learn more about our revolutionary seller's assurance program. So it really is true. Your dreams don't have to be just dreams. At ColdwellBanker.com.
Discover what a strong, locally owned community bank can do for you.
I'm Tyler Hudson of Shankley Training in Dalton, Georgia. We train a huge number of the region's aspiring soccer players. I moved my business and personal banking to Builtwell 2 years ago. It's important for me to work with a community bank where I know them and they know me. Because they make things easy for me, my bank is Builtwell.
Member FDIC.
And welcome back to Monday Night Football, where Soccertown USA comes to you.
You got that.
And really quick, Diego, let's go over this OptiLink scoreboard. I am going to bring the scores up, and I am going to let you run it down real quick. How does that feel?
I like the sound of that.
Technical difficulties while we bring this up really quick.
Hey, there was a lot of it going on. So
here we go.
It was a very busy week. And so we'll go ahead and run through all the scores, starting with Monday, February 10th. Of course, Murray County losing 2-5 against Gilmer for the girls. North Murray versus Heritage, a big scoreline there, 1-11, if I'm reading that correctly. Yeah. Very big scoreline for the girls. Coahuila Creek beating Cass girls 3-0. And then, of course, we move on to North Murray versus Heritage. North Murray losing 1-0 against Heritage. And then Murray County at Gilmer. Close game.
Yeah.
Murray County losing 3-2 against Gilmer boys. And then we wrap off Monday the 10th with Coahulla Creek beating Cass 3-0. And then, of course, the only game on Tuesday, Coahulla Creek at Central for the girls.
Yeah, because we had a lot of rain that day.
Oh, I remember that day.
Yeah.
Coahulla Creek got the game canceled against Dalton, if I remember correctly. But yes, on Tuesday, Coahulla Creek beating Central girls 3-1. And then Thursday, what a day Thursday was. North Murray beating Dalton Academy girls at the Dalton Academy 3-0. Murray County losing 2-4 against Heritage, or should I say Heritage winning 4-2 against Murray County. That Southeast Coahulla game for the girls ending 3-2. We just talked about that one. What a game that was. You mentioned it, Northwest losing 3-0 against Pace Academy for the girls. And then Dalton Academy, 1-0 win over North Murray for the boys on that cold night at the Dalton Stadium. Northwest boys beating Pace Academy 2-0. And then double penalty kicks, Southeast Coahulla tying 1-1 in regular time. And then winning 5-4 in what I hear was an intense penalty shootout, which we'll talk about in a little bit. And then, of course, Murray County versus Heritage, wrapping it up, also 1-1 in regular time. 5-4 for penalty kicks for the boys. And then the Valentine's Day special, Dalton girls beating Calhoun 6-1, the Alley show on that one. And then Dalton boys beating Calhoun 6-0 on the night. And then, of course, Valentine's Day wrapping up with Murray County 8-0 loss against Johns Creek. And then the only game on Saturday, Murray County versus Tucker.
Yeah, Tucker actually won 2-0.
Tucker winning 2-0. A lot of score lines, a lot of different score lines.
A lot of different score lines, but like I said, it was a very intense game, very intense week for the first week, big games. And now we start out this week, let's just really go back into Southeast versus Coahulla Creek on the boys' side. Soccer City Cup, Southeast boys ended up going down 1-0 to start out the match. They eventually got a goal to tie it up by Alex Hernandez, which tied it up 1-1. I felt the match, the first half was very tight. It could have gone either way. Coahulla was, they were doing a lot to press. And then the thing is, at Coahulla, they had some injuries. They're already down Omar Mendiola. They ended up having the player that replaced Omar get hurt. He went into goal, had an issue with his shoulder. Their keeper ended up having a concussion. So they were getting hit with it.
There was a lot going on in that game physically.
But then, the second half, it opened up more. Southeast had a lot more chances. There's something that they should have capitalized on. It didn't happen. And as mentioned, due to this being a non-region game, it did go straight to PKs, where Southeast was able to prevail on the 6th PK. They were able to win out 5-4. So that's where we're at. I mean, we were able to get some interviews here at the end of the show. We'll discuss it.
Did I hear correctly that Southeast actually missed one of the penalties?
Yeah, Jonah Hernandez, star forward that just came back, injured. He's been out with ACL injury for the past 2 years. He came back. He was itching to score. You could tell he had two plays where he ran into the keeper. That's the thing about Jonah. He plays 100 miles an hour. And, so he actually took out the keeper twice. And I was like, man, I think that guy should be playing free safety for Southeast. But they were able to rebound. They were excited, obviously, the Soccer City Cup win. And, so we did able to get some interviews, which we'll show here at the end of this segment. We have an interview with Diego Freire that Todd was able to get from last week. I was able to interview Coach Aurelio Jacobo, where he just gave us a prognosis of what's going on. And then we were able to get an interview with Nick Finney, who is the assistant coach for the Raider Rage. But real quick, let's just jump into these boys standings because there was, as mentioned, Soccer City Cup. As you can see here, the standings are currently Southeast on top with 2 points. Coahulla Creek is on top, has 1 point. Dalton and Northwest aren't on the board yet, but there was a game canceled between Dalton and Coahulla.
That rain on Tuesday.
But now we got to see if this game gets rescheduled. So that's the thing. It was a scheduled game, and it had been scheduled. So now it got canceled or postponed. I don't know the actual word if it's postponed or canceled, but I think they're trying to play it. Obviously, they don't have to because it's not they're not in the same region. But it would be great for them to play. But we'll have to see if they can fit in their schedule because which we'll discuss here. Dalton and here later. Dalton's schedule is packed from now until the next.
What games we got this week from Dalton? That's going to be interesting.
But really quick, the reason that we're doing 2 points is so if you went outright and before in regulation or overtime, then you're going to get the 3 points. If you win out, if it goes into overtime and then you win on PKs, it's 2 points. If you win out and if it goes just straight to PKs, it's 1 point. So it's going to be a little different because we want to make sure there's an outright winner.
That's very fair.
But
Very fair.
as mentioned, there's a lot of games left. Southeast still has to play their rival. Northwest and their big El Clasico rival.
Oh, which I got that on my calendar. Circle.
Well, they played
highlighted.
twice, so really
March 14th.
March 14th. But the big game that the Soccer City Cup is going to be April 17th matchup. It's going to be the last matchup of the season.
It might come down to that.
It could. It did last year. That's where it came down. But like I said, there's a lot of soccer to play for. And like I said, both on the boys and girls side, it's really early in the season. What do you think so far of what's happening so far in the first week?
I enjoy it, and I think it's almost poetic that we already had the whole penalty kick dilemma here in the group standings. So essentially, even though the Southeast got 2 points, it's almost like we're still starting fresh. A win for Dalton Northwest puts them on top already.
Right.
So I'm very curious how that's going to play out with the whole point standing. Like I said, I think we're going to be close. I think there's going to be such a close end of the table, and I'm all for it. That's what I love about soccer.
And like I said, and here, guys, stay tuned. We got interviews with Diego Freire, Aurelio Jacobo, and Nick Finney, and then we'll come back for our next segment. All right, welcome back to Monday Night Football. This is we're here with Coach Jacobo of Coahuila Creek. Coach, you've actually had a busy week. You originally had 3 games scheduled, but you played 2. Just give us a quick synopsis of your first game. You played Cass, and then obviously today you Southeast went to PKs. You lost the first game 3-1, I think, to Cass, and then this one MPK's 5-4. Just give us a quick overview of what you see the season where you can make some improvements.
It's been busy, and I mean we started with Calhoun. That was a tough match. It's been hard trying to get the team together. Obviously, trying to find those empty spots. We lost a lot of really good key players from last year, and it's really been kind of tough trying to deal with injuries. And you guys have talked about Cruz, one of the main ones in the middle that has controlled pretty much the whole team. So we've kind of had to adapt to that. There's been a lot of really good players, especially like tonight, that have stepped up. We've had injury after injury tonight, and like always, we're just looking for somebody to step up. We don't have that backup player for every spot like we'd like to, but these guys are, they've always played with heart. That's one of the big things that keeps me here is just I have these guys that are willing to step up. We had Jonathan that stepped up in the goal and he just played phenomenal, man. He's a man of the match for me tonight. It was a close match. It's been close for the past couple of years with us in Southeast, and I mean, it's all respect, I know it's rivalry in the county, but I mean, it's one of the teams that, that you look forward to playing to. So humbleness, and, some of these guys I taught in elementary school, so it's good seeing them and good seeing, what they bring to the table to Southeast.
And really quick, obviously, you guys have been reclassified down to 2A, no longer 3A. GHSA is changing things out. So do you feel like that people will see your team as a favorite, or do you just feel like there's, even though the private schools are out of the region, that there's still going to be competition?
I mean, there's going to be competition, and I mean, it's kind of one of those things where every year is different. You come in with a different squad every year, and I mean, we're just looking to try to build it up to as good as we can get it with the people that we have, and I mean, we're just going to roll with that.
All right, well, good. Thank you, Coach, and good luck for the rest of the season.
Appreciate it.
Welcome to Monday Night Football. Here we are with assistant coach Nick Finney of the Raider Rage. Nick, the score was tied 1-1. Obviously, with the new GHA change, I went to PKs. You ended up winning 5-4. Just give us a quick analysis of what you thought of the game. Where do you feel like you can improve for your next matchup?
Yeah, I mean, we know when we face Coahuila, they always are going to bring it. They got a great program there with Coach Jacobo. So it's always going to be a tough battle. We had, we were all over them that second half. That they made some great saves. A couple of times we were unlucky, but we stayed on the attack. We just got to keep taking our chances and make the most of those opportunities in the future. We got a lot of guys that are coming into maybe a bigger role this year and still kind of getting their feet wet. We got a couple guys, but Jonah, he's really coming back from 2-year break with injuries. We got a freshman up top, so we got a lot of guys that are just trying to find their role and really fill it.
So what are obviously the first game of the season, got a long season ahead, but what were some goals that got set out for this upcoming year for the Raider Rage?
Yeah, I mean, we've got goals. We always have goals. Region is always, one of our first goals because it's kind of the first step. We're always looking ahead towards state after that. But I think just game by game, getting better. Like I said, we got a lot of new faces in there, and just kind of getting better as a team, game by game, and building day by day.
All right, well, thank you very much, Coach Finney, and good luck for the rest of the season.
Thank you.
Welcome back to Monday Night Football, and we'll go ahead and continue discussing the games of the week with the game I really enjoyed. I ran into you in that game.
Yeah.
The Dalton. Here I am talking about Raider Rage again. Dalton High School against Calhoun. I mean, what a show of dominance from both the girls and the boys.
And let's get into the girls because you were there. I got there for the second half. Had to go get tacos. Dalton doesn't sell tacos. And
what's up with that? There's a lot.
It's a little sore subject, but
then I ain't
we had to go to Sol de Mayo to go get. It was Valentine's Day, so we had the heart-shaped tacos for Sol de Mayo, and we were eating them there at the game, enjoying that. But you were there the first half.
Literally, I got there. I was one of the first people in the stadium, I want to say, because I was so excited from what I saw last week to see if it was going to continue this week. And man,
so how did you feel about the girls' game this week?
I was in love. So before the game started, I was walking to my seat, and I didn't realize this was the first game, but one of my good friends, Lupe Martinez, I think I said the wrong name. So Lupe, it is Lupe Martinez. I've been calling your games for years now. You think it's memorized in my head. She told me a couple things to watch out for, and one of the things she said is, hey, focus on our passing game. I promise you it's going to be good. Did she deliver? I talked last episode about the technique that I saw with these Dalton girls. Oh man, did they bring it this game. And Lupe was telling me about the passing game, the through balls that these girls were playing, the balls out to the wing that these girls were playing. I think it's clear on the philosophy that we're going to focus on for this semester is that passing game, which when you have end products like Ali Rosales, who scored 4 of those goals, I mean, how are you not going to focus on passing the ball to her? And so Ali Rosales scoring 4 of the goals, and then Yaretsi Peña scoring another one, and then Ellis Robertson scoring as well. And they even had an absolute banger of a free kick.
Which was Yaritza who scored it.
I mean,
you'll be able to see that during our clip here, but Yaritza scored about 40 yards out.
It was incredible seeing. I got a good angle of it.
I just had a feeling. Out there, and Brandon doesn't know. I'll email him the footage. We have it, but you'll see it. Yaritza sets it up from the 40. And just takes it up. And she was surprised the score. I don't know if you saw her face. She was like, did it go in?
And see, the ball, the way it dipped was very strange. It seemed like it was going to be a slow ball for the keeper, but then something happened at the end of that ball, and it hit it right into the corner. A gorgeous goal. I mean, it's one of those goals that everyone erupts.
Yeah, and it was on social media. I know Ruri Alvarez from Tiki Taka Soccer, former Dalton State college player. I think he's been working with her, so he was out there.
It really shows. And I think I was going to bring that up where I think all these focus on the development. We have Ruri with Tiki Taka. We got Shankly training. We got Wyndham training. I think it's showing here with how young these players are already picking up those techniques. I mean, Ali Rosales, of course, the goal scorer. We're going to talk a lot about her, I'm sure, throughout the rest of the season. But last season, I mentioned how amazing her technique and style was. I was texting y'all, Ali Rosales just scored a goal, and I didn't even finish hitting send, and she scored another because of that good breakaway. The technique these girls bring is next level. The vision, the dribbling ability. Oh man, like these girls understand the technical setup, and I feel you didn't used to see that. I mean, I hate to sound like a boomer, but I feel previously it was kind of like, hey, go out there and kick the ball, and whatever happens, happens.
The game's changed. You have all these private coaches now that do things on the side. All these, especially the girls now, are playing a lot more club ball, and you can see that it's evident in the ability for all the schools, for Northwest, Dalton, Coahuila, even for the schools in Murray County. But it's like I said, you're impressed by the freshman Ellis Robertson.
Yes. Oh my goodness, I didn't know she was a freshman until you pointed out, because the way she was cutting the defense with the passes, it takes skill to see vision like that. It's soccer IQ. To see a pass before it exists, it's incredible, and something that usually takes years to develop. She's a freshman and already being able to thread those through balls. That's somebody to watch.
And she's come up through the Bells Academy. So
beautiful, legendary Bells Academy.
Yeah. So now let's roll into the boys' game. The boys' game, Calhoun went down to 3A. So now they used to be an opponent of Dalton in 5A. Used to be region opponents. Now they moved down. Scoreline 6-0. Now let's preface this scoreline. Dalton scored right off the rip. They scored a goal within the first half.
It was hilarious because I was sitting next to Lupe after the game, and the referee blew the whistle. I turned around to tell Lupe something, and then boom, goal.
Everyone scored within a minute, and so from there, I thought the route was going to be on. But Calhoun, I think they were shell shocked. They settled in. They made it a competitive first half. They made it a competitive half. Dalton was able to get a goal towards the middle end of the first half to go up 2-0 at half. They go in.
Yes.
Don't know what was said at halftime. Coach Chiefs had the boys ready to play. They came out. They scored 2 bangers right within
correct
5 minutes of second half starting, and then you got a banger as well, which I think it was from Joe or who.
I don't remember off the top of my head. We have that footage to play. I don't know what I do to these teams where I bring them luck. When I set up to record their free kick, it goes in.
Yeah, so you set up, but the goal scorers for Dalton is really quick. It was Francisco Torres, Chapis Garcia, the former Atlanta United product, Luis Favela, the senior coming back from had 2 goals. Joe, I think they meant Joe Gonzalez, and then you had Edwin Chavarria. You had assists. Chapis also had 3 assists. I don't know if you saw Chapis. He's in the number 10 guy. That guy is so fast when he's attacking the defense. I mean, I think him coming back to play this year, electing to play this year, I think he may be a big difference maker for that Dalton.
I think that's been a common thing where we have a good number of players who didn't get to play for whatever reason that are now coming back. And I think it just shows how hungry the talent in this town is and why. I mean, I keep saying, Soccer Town USA. I really do feel that passion, and I think these boys prove that kind of passion where they are hungry to prove themselves.
Yeah, and then Dalton comes in now. I mean, they've got a murderer's row this week, and we'll go over the schedule here in a bit. But they've got McIntosh tomorrow at 3 p.m. down in Peachtree City. And then they come back on Friday and play Johnson. And Johnson beat Southeast in a scrimmage game.
I remember that.
So this week we will see, I think Dalton, we will see, this will prove if Dalton is the team that will be hunted by all these other teams or if maybe it's Johnson because they're in the same classification. So we will find out this week where we are. Hopefully Dalton is able to pull out both those games just to represent Soccer Town.
Absolutely.
But like I said, they got a murderous row coming
Only
up.
time you'll catch me cheering for Dalton.
Yes. But like I said, we're getting ready to go to commercial break. When we come back, we're going to unveil our schedule for this upcoming week.
Ali, it is a cold night, but the goals are hot today. 6-1. I mean, you scored 4 of those goals. Plain and simple, how does it feel to play such a part in your team's victory today?
It feels good to play a part in this team's victory today, but I couldn't have done it with the help of my teammates. They encouraged me and helped me fight on to be the best version I can.
See, I noticed that whenever halftime was coming, the first thing you did was who assisted who. You wanted to give credit to who gave credit to. As we were doing this interview, somebody just walked by, yelled superstar.
That's the coach.
Big news, yeah, superstar. Big news this week. You committing to Georgia Gwinnett Grizzlies.
Yes.
How does it feel to go ahead and already have that next step in order while you're playing here at Dalton High?
It feels, it's part of a journey, so it feels really special to have somewhere to go right after this, and all I can do now is work hard for the next step.
Absolutely. And overall, just what are you looking forward to with the rest of this season?
I'm looking forward to getting the best out of every single one of the girls on the team. I think if we work together, we can become a really, really strong team. It's a completely different team from last year. So I think everyone, when they play their part, it's going to be good.
I'm excited. You're excited. I think we're all excited to see. Appreciate you for your time.
Thank
Player
you
of the
so
match.
much.
Thank you. Go warm up, all right?
Thank you.
Thank you. Back, everybody. Right here joining me, a very special guest, Dalton State icon, Southeast legend, and now Dalton High coach, Lupe Martinez. Lupe, what is it like going through that journey that I just mentioned? Player to coach, still player. What's it like?
It's all a bit of a blur, to be honest, because it just goes by really fast. Like, high school was literally just 4 years ago, and this college career that I've been through went by so fast. Like, you don't even realize it because you're just playing, and you don't even realize until you get to that point where you might not play anymore.
As a coach, how different is it, getting used to playing and now you're helping others develop? How is that feeling?
It's very different feelings because it'll get you the urge to want to play out there, but knowing that you can't, it's a bit of a struggle. But it's a very different experience. But seeing the girls play and then helping them out with all their needs and any improvements they need feels really great. Because as a former midfielder, I love giving assists, and I've always loved helping people.
So like your dribbling game in the midfield is spectacular to watch. One last thing, Justin, what are you looking forward to most in this season that just started?
Just making a big impact on the girls that are probably have their last year playing for Dalton, and I just hope to make some sort of impact on their lives.
Appreciate it. Always good to see you. And shout out to Chio behind the camera recording it. Thank y'all. Keep watching.
Why should you choose OptiLink Internet?
I chose OptiLink because of the great local service.
We know computers, and OptiLink knows internet with high-speed symmetrical uploads and downloads.
My customers depend on me for safety and security, and I need fast and dependable internet. That's why I chose OptiLink.
Some people say you can't have fast internet. I say, oh yes you can with OptiLink.
Experience the difference. Call today, 706-529-1313.
If you could live anywhere, where would it be? And what would it be like? Open up a world of possibilities when you sell your home and make those dreams real. At coldwellbanker.com, you can get an instant estimate on your home, compare cost of living city by city, and learn more about our revolutionary seller's assurance program. So it really is true. Your dreams don't have to be just dreams. At coldwellbanker.com.
Welcome back to Monday Night Football. I mean, we've discussed what happened. How about we discuss what's gonna happen for this week?
Let's
we got
really
some juicy ones.
We've got a lot of games this week, man. So let's start off with today, Monday, February 17th. By the time you see these games will already be aired. But we have region games. We have Dalton Academy boys and girls playing Chattooga at Chattooga. So that is taking place today at 5 and 7 p.m. We have Christian Heritage versus Model Boys. That is being played today. Tomorrow, as we mentioned, we already talked about a little bit before the break, in the last segment. Dalton boys at McIntosh. That should be a big game. It will be a big game. You got Christian Heritage, LFO, boys and girls tomorrow. You have Coahulla Creek girls playing Dade County. You have both Southeast boys and girls playing Heritage. If I'm not mistaken, that should be a region game because they're both in the same region. Then you have Northwest versus Allatoona. Little bit of interesting facts about Allatoona. They do have a D1 commit and junior Reese Denson. She's committed to the Citadel. If that last name Denson rings a bell, her father is Aaron Denson, former Bruin, former baseball player in the late 90s, played in the era of Rhett Parrott and all them. Denson also is Ford of Dalton. So they're all sponsored by Ford of Dalton. So now,
give them love.
So it's going to come on, but that should be a good game there. And then on Wednesday, we got games all week. You got Dalton Academy boys and girls playing Darlington. And to end the week, what else do we have
Well,
here?
man, starting on Thursday the 20th, February 20th, we got Christian Heritage girls at Ringgold at 5 o'clock. And also at 5 o'clock, we got Coahulla Creek and Ridgeland girls playing at 5. And then that same day at 6:30, we got Northwest versus North U, a battle of the North right there for the girls. And then at 7 o'clock that same day, we got Coahulla Creek at Ridgeland for the boys. And then we wrap up on the 20th with Christian Heritage at Ringgold at 7 o'clock as well. And then on Friday, February 1st, we got Southeast Calhoun for the girls and the boys as well, correct? So that's going to be a bit of a banger. Soccer City, right? And then we got at 5:30 Northwest versus East Hall for the boys. 7 o'clock, Dalton Academy, 3 times in 1 week for Dalton Academy. Dalton Academy at Gilmer boys at 7 o'clock. Murray County faces Tryon, the boys at 7 o'clock. Of course, I mentioned Southeast versus Calhoun boys at 7 o'clock. And we wrap up with a big main event on the 21st at 7:30. Dalton versus Johnson. That's at Harmon, right?
No,
it's away?
It's at, yes, it's at Harmon Field.
Harmon, I was like, okay, never mind.
It is at Harmon Field.
Harmon
correct.
Field.
Sorry, I apologize for that.
You're all good. I'm excited to go see that one.
I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing, early in the week, I'm looking forward to the Southeast Heritage matchups. I don't know how you feel about that. The Heritage, the girls have given Southeast fits in the past, so it was always coming down that. But like you said, Dalton Academy, they're getting.
That was my big highlight. 3 times in 1 week is tough.
So they're both boys and girls playing Chattooga. They're playing, and then they play Darlington. Well, then the boys. So the girls play twice, and the boys are playing 3 times. And then, really quick, the big game. I mean, they're all big games, but and everybody hates when we talk about Dalton, but they are playing a murderous row schedule, and it would be remiss if we didn't recognize it. So they're playing McIntosh, which we brought out, which McIntosh gave Dalton fits last year. I think they beat him twice.
My brother told me about that.
Yeah, so they beat him down in McIntosh, and then I think they played again. They played him at Harmon Field last year, and McIntosh came away with the win. Now Dalton's going to travel down there, so we'll see how that goes. It's going to be a hostile environment down in McIntosh.
I'm looking forward to it.
So
I mean, to have a team winning at Harmon Field against Dalton, that doesn't happen.
And then you have Dalton playing Johnson on Friday night at Harmon Field.
The main event of the week.
I would call that the main event of the week. I haven't seen it, but he hasn't came out. But typically in the past, Jason Longshore, the voice of Atlanta United, calls these matches. We had him on the show last year. He may call it, he may not. Johnson and Dalton are like literally microcosms of what they're the same team, just a different school. You take put them in a blank jersey, you probably cannot tell who's who between them. Even Southeast, they play the same style of soccer. They're both Hispanic, heavily influenced.
I love it.
So it's going to be very interesting. And then a little teaser that I'm interested in is Southeast versus Calhoun.
That was one of my picks.
Yeah.
I mean, I got Soccer City Cup. We keep going back to that. I'm excited for it.
Well, it's not a Soccer City Cup.
My bad. I had my mind in another place, but Southeast Calhoun still.
But so it's going to be interesting because we see that Calhoun girls lost 6-1 to Dalton this past Friday, and now so it'll be interesting to see how the scoreline ends up for the girls. And we don't like to compare scores, but we want to. Is it going to be a microcosm of what to come? Southeast do they barely get by? So is that an indicator that they were playing down, or does that mean that Dalton's that good on the girls' side? And then for the boys, they beat Calhoun 6-0. They turned it on the second half. So can the boys come up? So there is just a lot going on, and so we'll see how it goes.
Let me ask you that. Do you think that for the Southeast players, the boys and the girls, that result for Dalton versus Calhoun, does that play in their head? Do they want to prove something?
I mean, I think as a player, you keep up with these scores. And let's just be real. Like, Dalton, when Dalton boys were attending the Cullowhee Creek match, they were the team was there for Dalton High. Not all the players, but probably a good 10 to 15 players there. So they know what's going on. All these kids know who they play. They discuss all this. So it's out there. They have all these different Instagram pages, so everything is being communicated out there. So even that one time when we were coming back, the scrimmage game, there were Southeast girls running up because they had a late practice, and they had heard that the score was like 4-2, 4-1. It was 5-3 at half, and they're like, how can this be 5-3? And they were running to get into the game because they wanted to see what was going on because they couldn't believe that the scoreline was there. And really quick, we would be remiss if we did not give thank you to our wonderful sponsors that help us bring out this Monday Night Football. Want to shout out Elliott Media for presenting that. That's Judy. If it wasn't for her, we wouldn't have this season. And then obviously our great community sponsors. We want to say Dalton Utilities and OptiLink for the scoreboard and the schedule. Caldwell Banker and Kennard Realty. North Georgia Toyota. If you need to go get your 4Runner, go to North Georgia Toyota. Builtwell Bank. Right here in beautiful downtown Dalton. And then the Mac.
Right here.
The Mac what?
Matt Gaston. Unlike Gaston.
Matt Gaston.
The Matt Gaston, but it's the Matt Gaston Community Center. But I don't know why I have to say Gaston, just rolls off the tongue.
Yeah, like I said, if it wasn't for those wonderful sponsors and the Matt Gaston providing this space for us.
Beautiful space. I mean, we've gotten comments about the new setup and everything.
New setup, so.
Gorgeous.
And look, and don't worry, next week is not going to be a 2-man show. Next week it should be back to a 3-man show. We may actually have a meme out there. If you haven't seen it, it was shared on our Facebook. Thank you to Carpet Capital Memes for, I guess, saying Todd looked like Chuck like Dale with the mohawk. And they had me, I guess, as Hairy Dog. I don't know if it's because of the I'm a little.
You were in Georgia.
And I'm a little thick. But we'll see.
Capital CC.
And as Todd says, if you're out, if you see us out, please give us a call, shout out when we're out there. We're out there to see you guys and support you all, and hopefully you guys enjoy this show, and we will see you all.
I was going to say next week, but probably at the games this week.
Yes. Thank you very much.
advertise your business on TV, contact Elliott Media at 706-529-4237.